What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Pickin Corners. This is the last episode we're going to have before Christmas, so maybe I can give you a couple gifts. Maybe you can give me a couple gifts. You ever see that scene in Donnie Brasco where Al Pacino gifts Johnny Depp $200 and then before he leaves asks him if he could borrow $200? Just the unnecessary exchange to say I gave you a gift and did the right thing just to ultimately get the money back. Well, maybe there will be some gift exchanges in this episode because, like I told you last week, the gift exchanges are somewhat necessary because if you haven't watched since last week, I told everybody that as of January 1st, New Year, all my videos, the daily Monday to Friday NHL videos, are going to be here on my YouTube channel. And the NFL videos, I'm going to do the main Sunday video, the weekend picks here on my YouTube channel, and the primetime games. I know people have asked, where's the primetime? The primetime games are only going to be available on my Patreon. This show is brought to you by the people on my Patreon because those are the people who now are going to make up for me leaving the Odd Shopper. About 40% of the way there. So if you guys can, please subscribe. Would mean a lot to me. And the best part about it, if you're on there, and this is not me selling anything, this is me just being honest, I give you guys those videos the night before I film them. Think about all the things you don't know the night before. You don't know the starting goalies. We don't even have the player props and their prices for the most part. So I just tell you what I like without even knowing what many of the prices are. If you're on the Patreon, we have a huge chat thread in there, and then I can update it and see, oh my God, this guy got a promotion to the top power play. Let's get him in there. This guy's not playing. Let's slip Devon Taves in. There are many benefits, including getting the primetime NFL games along with the chat thread and updated picks as we go along. Maybe sometimes like, oh my God, I wanted the under in that game and the worst backup of all time is playing. Let's scratch that under from the card. So there will be many benefits. Very appreciated if you guys can join. It would mean a lot because it keeps me afloat, you know, until you hear, oh yeah, Pickin Corners is brought to you by Crest 3D. No sponsors around here, so it's sponsored by you, the people, like the Green Bay Packers, how they claim to own the team. You know, every fan somewhat owns the team. And then also, you know how people say, I hate when fans call themselves like, oh, we did this, we that, we. Well, are the Packers fans allowed to say we since they're technically part owners of the team? They never factor that one in when they complain about people saying we. What a stickler, by the way. When you say we, it just encompasses the fan base. When you say, oh, we sucked last night, it's basically my fan base talking to your fan base. The same way if I'm playing NHL 2003 and me and the Islanders lost, I don't say the Islanders lost. I say I lost. But are you a part of the Islanders? No. But I play my little role, and I think I'm entitled to say we. Now let's see if we can come up with some stuff here to show you on this Friday night. You know, every single Friday, I show you guys different ways to stack your same game Ruckus parlays and to stack the double under point prop parlays. Now, no matter what happens, no matter how many times I explain it, people are just still going to make the same mistake. I don't know what they're doing. My guess is they're just betting they're like Chevy Chase in Vegas Vacation. They're not listening. They're just putting bets. Say, oh yeah, wait, no, okay, whatever. I put that bet in. So I'm going to re-explain a couple things until there's not a single person I see make the same mistake twice. And that is if you combine totals with money lines or puck lines, stop wasting goals, stop wasting bets, and stop giving them a better price. For example, the most common one I see, and don't think I'm singling you out, anybody, it's not just you. It's other ones. It's in my DMs. If you're going to take a money line and an under, I'm going to put your face on a dartboard and start shooting things at it, figuratively, not actually. This is not an actual physical threat or anything of that nature. But it just is frustrating because if you're taking an under 6.5 on the money line, you're taking the money line because you want to have your team by a goal. You think they're going to win a goal. So if it goes to overtime, you still want to be able to win, correct? Well, name me the scores that the money line will cover by 1. 1-0, 2-1, 3-2, and what's the next one? You know math, 4-3. Where does that 6 goals help you? It only helps you if You cleared the puck line. If you win, you're going to go, well, what if you win 4-2? Then you should have taken the puck line. And that's why if you take a -1.5 with an under, it has to be under 6.5 or under 8.5. Why? You get the 5-3. Or if it's under 6.5, 4-2. It should be pretty simple. So if it's the money line, you take it with either under 7.5. That's the most preferable. But if you think it's going to be a really low scoring game, you combine it with the under 5.5. If you take the puck line and you want the under, it's got to be under 6.5 or under 8.5. If you want to take the puck line plus 1.5, it's got to be plus 1.5 over 6.5, right? Because if you want the over, because if it's a 4-3, or if you want to go all the way down to 4.5. So if you want the plus 1.5 in the over, it has to be plus 1.5 over 4.5 or over 6.5. If you want the plus 1.5 and under, it's got to be under 7.5 or 5.5, right? 3-2 or 4-3. I hope that's clear. And then also, if you want to take the puck line and the over, the -1.5, it's over 5.5, right? 4-2. So if you're combining, just at least don't give them free odds. Know the right numbers to combine them with. Then once again, I'm going to keep doing it. But there's a new wrinkle this time around. Last week, I talked about how ESPN Bet is one of the few sites that allows you to take the under on goals. And those of you who have the opportunity to use ESPN Bet, this is an extension of my double point prop under. So first, let me re-show you, because we're going to keep doing this until it's cemented in your head. And it also might be a good pick for tonight. So on the channel, I gave under 6.5 for that Winnipeg Jets game with the Bruins. You know, this is two good defenses, two very good goalies, and there's no Kyle Connor still. You've seen a bunch of unders with these Winnipeg Jets. I know last game was an over 5-2 because that was the Detroit Red Wings, and the Detroit Red Wings are a team who can give up 5 goals. So let's see if we can apply the double point prop theory in this game. Now, I particularly lean towards Boston. I understand how Winnipeg, how good they are. I do think Boston is a good matchup. I mean, it's probably going to be close. On my Patreon, I did give out Boston to win an under 5.5. So there's a little sneak behind the curtain of one of the extra picks I gave last night. So let's go with that under 6.5 that I gave on the channel, the bump it up under. You see that? So now this is ESPN Bet. So first, let's do it the classic way, the way I've been teaching you. You want 2 line mates on the same team who are not on the same power play and not on the top line, right? You don't want to be messing with all-star caliber players on a top line, and you don't want to be messing with the top power play who usually takes up like 1 minute and 20 seconds of power play time. So we're looking for either second or third line. They'll never give you a fourth line. You never had your car. And 2 players who we can take the unders on. Now, because I lean towards Boston in this game, I want to pick 2 guys on Winnipeg. So this is Daily Faceoff, where they show you the depth charts. I'm looking at that third line. Nino Niederreiter, Adam Lowry. Mike Lowry, remember that? Let's double check that they're not on the top power play. There you can see they're right on that second power play, or Nino is. And Mike Lowry is not even on a power play. So this is even better than what we would normally get, because usually a lot of these sports books, if a guy's not on a power play at all, they don't offer that player very often. So the fact that we're sneaking a guy in who gets no power play time, man, I wonder if they're offering him for a power play point. That'd be pretty wild. This is interesting. They're using 2 defensemen on a power play. Before we go to that, so we're going to take the under on points for Mike Lowry, Adam Lowry, and Nino Niederreiter. And then we would combine that with the under 6.5 because we think it's an under game. Now, because of these little rules here on ESPN Bet, unless you log in, they won't show you the odds. But you put that together and let everybody know in the comments what the ultimate odds are for that one. Now, let's say I didn't want to do my bump it up under. First of all, it's always a great correlation to do under on point props if you think a game's going to go under. But also, even if you think a team is not likely to score a lot. This game, I would rather go under 6.5. These two players on Winnipeg to stay under. But if this game was in Boston, I wouldn't mind going Boston to win with those two players. But let's stick with that under 6.5 and those two guys to go under on their point props. And then somebody do everyone else a favor and let them know what the odds would be on that bet. I'm still not a good immediate calculator in my head, but they're going to be pretty good. Now, the thing about ESPN Bet and the way to take advantage until they inevitably take this away from you. Not FanDuel, Caesars, DraftKings, BetMGM, none of them let you take players the under on their goal props. You know how hard it is to score a goal? Mikko Rantanen scored 50 goals last year. He just had an 8-game goal drought. It's not easy to score. So, yeah, you're going to get odds that are way more ridiculous on the minus side, but man, it is not easy to score game in, game out in this league. And if you're correct on an under, then you're almost always going to be correct on the under on goals, especially if you're focusing on those lingerers. So let's go down. And the crazy thing is, I think they offer third and fourth liners here. I think they offer, now granted, you're going to see prices that are ridiculous, like Leicester City, when they won the Premier League. But like, yeah, look at this. Look at that. You get up to minus 4,000. But if you took like Nino, what is that? Minus 625. And Lowry is minus 900. But remember, when it comes to goals, you can be a little more liberal with how far you want to go. This one isn't as strict. When you're trying to avoid points, that's like, you're avoiding goals and assists. So, you have to be real strict with it. Now, you're not going to stack all those, but another option. And also, I don't think they allow you to take more than one per game. I'm not 100% certain on ESPN Bet because this was the old Barstool Bet. And I believe they only let you do one of each. I can't remember. Maybe more people help in the comments with that. But even if this was on Bet365 or something like that, all of this stuff applies. The double under on point props between two line mates who are not on the top line and not on the top power play. You got that one? It's going to be cemented in there eventually. And now I'll return to something we've been doing on the Ruckus side of things. Now, this is not a night that looks like it's going to be filled with Ruckus, but if we go to the Rangers Edmonton game, Edmonton, no matter who they play, you always have Ruckus potential. Now, Edmonton played last night in New Jersey, but as I mentioned on the channel earlier, there's not any sort of crazy travel. You know what the travel is? They get on the PATH train and go right back into the city. So travel shouldn't be an issue. It's just playing back-to-back nights. But I think they are a chemistry-oriented team, and when the goals start flowing, they really start coming in bunches. And this game does have Ruckus potential. When I gave out some of the picks on the channel, these weren't available because they're only available same day. So if we go down, and if we think this is going to be a Ruckus game, let's go over 6.5. So game including overtime, if you go down a little bit. And now we're going to go over 6.5. Then we're going to go down to points. And as I mentioned to you guys a couple times this week, one of the best things about this, about Bet Rivers and a couple Bally Bet and Bet365 obviously has this. Anytime you offer alt points, is that it doesn't just work for a guy who's listed at 1 and you can take him for 2, which could always jack up your odds. But if you just want to have something with a little more certainty and you don't want to sweat it now, I don't really feel like taking minus, 560 for Connor McDavid. But I am going to take the 455 for Artemi Panarin. And then give me the 2 points. If you scroll down, you'll see that. Interesting that they got Hyman in the plus 100s. If this is the case, we're going to the defenseman, and we're hoping that power play clicks with Evan Bouchard. And now if you hit that bet slip, what does that put us at? We got a 4 plus 450 right there. And if I'm taking the team, if I'm doing this and I got one team with 2 points, and then the other team with 1, it's likely that Edmonton has scored a decent amount of goals, so they probably will be in the game. So if you minimize that and go back up to just scroll up to puck line or yeah, keep going. Okay, down a little bit. Right there. So see that puck line? If we add the Oilers at +1.5, what does that bring us up to? +575. Now, the reason that is because, look, I've taken somebody from Edmonton for 2 points and a guy from the Rangers for 1 point. So already, if we're correct, we have a one goal to spare. So now, in order for the Rangers to make us lose, they now have to catch up 3 goals, right? They're down by, we have them a +1.5. So they have to tie the game, score again. Now they're up by 1 and now score again after that. So that's why many times if you're taking one guy from one team to get 2 points and a guy on the other team to get 1 point, many times I take the +1.5 for the team who I've taken to get 2 points. If it's not absurd, if this was, the Vegas Golden Knights at home against the Anaheim Ducks, adding Vegas at +1.5 isn't going to do a goddamn thing for you. But that is how you can construct a Ruckus over same game parlay once again on Bet Rivers. So 1000%. Now I think we can take a look at some of the games for Saturday afternoon / Saturday night. We got Dallas Stars, Nashville Predators. The Nashville Predators, I think they're 8-2. Are they 8-2 in their last 10? Something like that. And there's still going to be no Jake Ottinger. People like taking the Stars. Stars, they put you through a little roller coaster. Usually if there's not an early sniff, then I'm sniffing another way. Oof, this is a difficult one, this next game. You got the Golden Knights and the Panthers. Golden Knights just took back-to-back losses on the road. One in Carolina, caught a beating. One in Tampa, they lost late. And now Florida lost the first 2 games on their road trip, beat Edmonton, lost in Calgary, then came home and lost against St. Louis. Ooh, you got 2 teams who are probably going to win that. Oh, that's going to be a good game. Sorry, fellas. No strong inklings on that one. You got Devils, Red Wings. This is a pretty good spot for the Devils. Why is that? You guys know. Detroit's going to be playing at home tonight. Have to go to New Jersey, who's going to be bitter after back-to-back losses at home. This also will obviously have Ruckus same game parlay potential. You guys know that these 2 teams are members of the Scam 5. Yep, the teams who will go mostly nowhere because of no attention to detail on defense. Anytime you get one of the Scam 5 in there, always can get yourself a Ruckus over. So over 6.5, lean Devils, and then you can build some Ruckus up in there. Lightning, Capitals. Go ahead, you guys. You don't have to do it. You don't have to do it. I'm taking the Lightning. Over 6 is interesting in that one. That's all I got it at. Lightning don't really play a whole ton of defense. I understand that Washington doesn't have a ton of offense and most of their games go under, but the Lightning, they bring it out of teams. Like they start scoring on the power play. They give you chances. I'd probably lean towards the over there. Bruins Wild. Classic home and home within a week or 2. Minnesota came from behind. Oh, no, but Boston's playing tonight and then has to go there. See how the Boston game goes tonight. If they No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Oh my God, here we go. You guys wanted some Saturday Ruckus? You have 2 in the Scam 5 playing each other. And then another 2 in the Scam. Oh my God, look at the next one after that. So you have back-to-back Ruckus, 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 Ruckus. This is way too much Ruckus. And if any of you have ever seen Not Another Teen Movie, they're doing like a parody of The Breakfast Club when he comes out. I heard a ruckus. can you describe this, Ruckus? I don't know how I haven't included that in any of these episodes, but I'll definitely get that to you guys in a future episode. If not, I'll add it somewhere up here or something so you could watch this scene on movie clips or something like that. But the Penguins, Senators. Now, I guess you can look at the Penguins last game and say, yeah, that was kind of a defensive battle against Carolina, but it's not about the Penguins as much as it is about the Ottawa Senators. Another Ruckus over last game against the Avalanche. Blew a 3-goal lead, ended up having a Ruckus over against Arizona. It's just Ruckus all over the place, all the time with them. And then Toronto and Columbus, they've both been involved in these 10, 12-goal games with Buffalo over the last week. And now they're going to be facing each other in Columbus. You could see that over-under at 7. That's usually the line winking at you, projecting Ruckus. So go ahead and build yourself something here. Now, I always want to reiterate, I tell you guys to do that because I know most of you are pirates. You sail the high seas and you want to be the captain now. I'm not one of these people who's going to fight you on it. Most of you are pirates, and I'm going to send you down the pirates path. You know, most of the scenes that you watch in Pirates of the Caribbean, there's limited time as an English nobleman, and that's how bettors are too. I feel like the majority of time, the bettors out there are dirty, filthy, bloody pirates looking overboard for some nice mermaids in their free time. But the likelihood of you nailing all these things and all these bets is not very high. So if you're going to build some Ruckus same game parlays, please don't build them all together. The way I look at this is there are 3 same game Ruckus parlays on this slate. I'm hoping to hit one of them because it will clear the other 2 losses. Not put all of them together. I'll build a Ruckus one in this game, the Penguins game, the Devils Detroit game. I hit one, it clears all 3 of them. Yes. You understand? Is that all we got? No, there's got to be some late games. Is that it? Oh, Sabres Rangers. Semi-potential Ruckus because you're introducing the Sabres and you're going to have the Rangers who are playing Edmonton tonight. Let's see how that game goes. And then Carolina Islanders. You know how I feel about Carolina. Everyone loves talking about how the Islanders are technically under 500 because of all the overtime losses. They're like 15 and 17 or something like that. But for betting purposes, for money line purposes, I guess that actually does mean something for us because if they've lost more than they've won and we're getting a decent price, I'll take that. But once again, with the Hurricanes, the sportsbooks aren't stupid. They know not to give you them at a great price. Minus 175 isn't the best, but I would absolutely lean in that direction. And if you look how Carolina is starting to play these games, another game that went to shootout 1-1, a lot of these games, they're holding their opponents to under 2 goals. I would lean towards the bump it up under, despite how porous the Islanders defense has been, because the Islanders have now been involved in back-to-back unders, and maybe they're starting to trend in that direction. Maybe that unbelievable scoring that we were seeing from them is starting to finally dry up in the power play and all that stuff. So I'd lean under there. Kraken Ducks, lean under there as well. And then I'll take the Blues over the Blackhawks. Blackhawks play tonight, go to St. Louis. St. Louis has only lost 1 game since they fired the coach. Avalanche, Coyotes. You know, the Coyotes are the new cockroaches out there. One thing that I do want to say about Calgary, Jacob Markstrom's playing as well as he's played since, you know, being that Vezina finalist. He really, I think he's coming off a shutout in the last game. And then the Kings have been playing very good defense in this last stretch here. This is a definite bump it up under to me. Oh my God, how many games are there? Semi-Ruckus potential, Vancouver. Oh my God, never mind. That line's way too big. And that is just a massive slate of games. My goodness, that is a huge slate of games. And if you want all my picks, all the picks that I give out, oh man, tomorrow's going to be wild because there's also some NFL games. You got to subscribe to the Patreon. It means a lot to me. It's going to keep this alive. The only way I can continue to do it, if you can, I really appreciate it. I'm not a scumbag. I'm not one of those girls on OnlyFans who uploads things to their Twitter, tells you to subscribe to their OnlyFans. You subscribe to their OnlyFans and it's just reposts of the Twitter stuff. I don't know. I've never done that, but I've heard many stories about it. Some people do that, which is very, very bait and switchy. That's not the case with me. I'm in the chat there, helping out as much as I can. But I love when Pirates go their own way. You know, it's great when they win on their own because they come with their chin up with some pride. But if they're taking money lines with under 6.5, so I'm not going to baby them. I'm going to say, what are you, you're showing me this? Delete that and resend the appropriate ticket. But I'll also answer questions on there. Because, you know, if these YouTube videos get popular, there's just going to be, eventually the orcs will make their way here. As soon as I stop making videos on the Odd Shopper channel, you're going to hear them in the middle of the night. The orcs in the woods are going to be burning down trees, and they're making their way to my hut to burn it down as well. So if you want, you come to the Patreon, talk to me there. I'll almost always, unless I'm real busy, get to your questions and give you the best input that I can. You know, it's a good time. If anybody's on the Patreon, I know you're watching this, you can let everybody know. You could say, oh, he is a scumbag on there, or he's not a scumbag on there. It's worth it. But I really would appreciate it. I also got my Sniff Drip clothing on andyfrancis.com. It will redirect you there. I also sell it on my Instagram page. The shirts are very comfortable. I had a long bunker process trying on samples because I thought, you know, when I think of somebody selling custom shirts, I'm thinking that Zazzle shirt, that red bubble where you show up, it shrinks 2 sizes. You turn, you know, you do a 3-point turn and you cut your neck because it's cardboard. They're actually extremely comfortable. My friends who got them, they usually ask for a second one. I don't give it to them because I need to save some inventory for all of you. So if you guys can go there, check that out. Also, you don't have to do that. You guys know about the Area 51 bunkers I tell you about, right? Where I show you those Area 51 Odd Shopper Premium bunker picks. Although I won't be doing videos for their channel, if you guys subscribe to that Odd Shopper Bunker Premium, where you get all the best analytics for every single sport, and you do that with the link that they gave me, I'll actually get a cut of that. So if you don't want to join the Patreon, but you want additional picks, and you want to get the best analytics and still help me out, you can do that. You can subscribe to Odd Shopper Premium down below, and I get a little cut rather than it all going to them. That's nice. That's nice. Thank you so much for coming back. I will have my NFL weekend picks right here on my YouTube channel as well. I think it's only 1 week left on the Odd Shopper channel. So then after that, as I mentioned before, all the NHL stuff will be here. As I like to say, good luck to you. Better luck to me. You make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel because this is where the videos will be. I haven't tested if you Google NHL bets. I found a whole bunch of new viewers because if you searched NHL bets, I was consistently #1. Now, I think there's a lot of stuff that goes into that. But we're going to see. Once the videos are here full time, if they don't, it might not be easy to find new Westworld viewers. And a Westworld viewer is a generic guy who's looking for NHL bets, and somebody programmed him to type the most generic hockey search ever, NHL bets. He sees the first video and clicks and goes, let's get some NHL bets. If you are a Westworld searcher and you found this way, comment you're a Westworld searcher. The rest of you, the reason I tell you this is because if you can't do any of that stuff, you can't do the Patreon, I understand. You can't do the Odd Shopper Premium, so I get a cut, I understand. At least like the video, comment on the video, share it to wherever, tell people about it, because the next best thing is this channel grows, the videos grow, and then, you know, Chris 3D is coming to me with some sponsorships, and then I can be like, all right, we can chill with all the Patreon begging. Anyway, everything is appreciated as always. I don't take doing this for granted. I enjoy it while it lasts, and I will be back with you guys tomorrow to talk NFL Week 16, Saturday, Sunday, Monday sniffs, or Saturday, Sunday, 3. You're going to get some Week 16 sniffs. Take it easy and have a good one.